It seems I load and unload firewood all day long. But really, that's what I've signed up for. And I don't think I would really want anything else. You know, those days of working in the office, in the cubicle, meeting your deadlines, getting my number from a 0.2 to a 0.4 or else. Here I am. I unload firewood and I load firewood. So I have unloaded a full cord of maple ash mix. This will be for a restaurant. And I realized I have some pallets in the back of my truck that have been in here for a while. I've forgotten all about them. I am always on the lookout for pallets, and there are some locations that I deal with that I drive by whenever I'm out on deliveries, and if they're setting out, I get them. And this is one of the secrets I have for keeping my firewood up off the ground, or pallets. And you can't beat the price because they're free. And if they go bad, we put them on the burn pile. And it saves me a lot of extra money in the way we stack. You know, I used to stack firewood with those T-posts and mark everything off in 8-foot sections. Too expensive and too much work. So now I just lay pallets in a row and I just stack and I go as far as I can get them to go. And while I'm at it, the solar charger for my battery, this thing is great. Home run. I will recommend this, and I will put a link to it in my description if you're interested in something like this. This is a top solar, I think 20 watt, but it has a solar charge controller, and I haven't put everything in here permanently yet, but I'm keeping all my wires long until I come up with the perfect setup. I see like a post, you know, in one of my stake pockets, but it's just a lightweight solar panel. I made a connector for it so I can disconnect it when I'm not using it, and I have clamps that go on the battery, so it's not permanently installed because I have the 2 trailers now, and whichever one I need to put it on, it goes. But my battery was dead yesterday, and this was on the charger all day today, and it just went right up. It put a lot of power into it. Who would have thunk? But what we're doing today, guys, unloading and loading. I have a delivery that's going out, and the way my routine seems to go, I will deliver wood in the morning and I load up in the evening for the next day. And in the afternoon, you know, I did some work around the yard. I unloaded this trailer. I can do my production now that the temperature's starting to drop a little bit. But now we're going to head on back here. We're going to load up my truck and get it ready for a delivery in the morning. Come on. This is what I mean, how I stack wood, guys. This is all on pallets. And my last video, I gave you the wrong, this is 6 cords of firewood. And I am able to get my truck back in here. I can just load it broadside and it goes pretty quick. But this is just nice, dry, seasoned firewood, and it's all ready to go. I would expect all of this wood to be sold here probably by the end of October, mid-October. But this is just how I have it set up. And I have multiple rows of these, and as long as the ground stays dry, you know, this is where it gets kind of swampy back in here with heavy rains. But when it's dry like this, I can get my truck in here. I can get this thing loaded up real quick, and I'm on the way. I try to go with like no more than 2 deliveries in a day, and I just try to keep things reasonable for me and to where I'm not over promising and under delivering for the customer. And I keep a broom with me too. You know, you got to sweep up on deliveries sometimes, but I also keep all of the crumbs swept off the floor because I use this unloader. I load the wood on top of it, and it pulls it all out for me. So this is how I clean out the back of the truck. just like that. I have said this before, the best $30 I have ever spent was on this unloader. This thing has just saved me a ton of time and effort, and I really think it makes delivering firewood a lot safer. I had always said one of the most unsafe things that I do is jump in and out of the back of the pickup truck. And I don't have to do that anymore when I'm on a delivery. I bring out my step ladder when I'm loading because I want to make it nice and neat when I hand load this truck. But that is, you know, the safety portion. I don't take the ladder with me when I deliver because I don't need to. It pulls right out with this thing. And then from there, guys, I just start laying the wood over the sides. And I get a lot of comments about, you know, I do things that's kind of labor intensive. But I think there's not one single thing that makes your firewood high quality. I think it's a lot of little things that add up. And the one thing that I do that I know absolutely adds value to my firewood is that our deliveries are hand loaded. Because man, it looks great when you pull into the customer's place. It lets them know that we're serious about their firewood, about customer service, and hand loading it allows them to measure exactly what they got right on the truck. Because, you know, I hear complaints from customers every time I deliver. They'll talk about the last guy or gal that brought them out firewood, and one of the biggest complaints is the actual quantity. They didn't get nowhere near what they thought they were going to get. And that happened with me this year. I had bought wood off of a guy. He had advertised almost a cord, and it came in a dump truck and it was almost a half a cord. So I can get burned with the rest of them, I guess. So I use my ladder to get up in the truck and then straighten everything out. But I think, at least for us, this is how I do it, and this saves me time too over the whole transaction, because I see, you know, all this hand loading and hand stacking that I do, I see the time savings for me. I don't measure it in the yard. I measure it when it goes on the truck, and from there it's just a matter of math. You take the height of the truck times the width times the length of the log, which is 16 inches or 1.3 feet. And the customer can be confident that they're getting what they paid for. And I can be confident that I'm giving them what they paid for. You know, the other thing too, about at least in the state of Ohio, if you sell firewood, there are rules. You have to go by actual cord or a fraction of a cord. So you're technically not allowed to sell firewood in Ohio as a truckload or a rick or a rack. It has to be a cord or a fraction of a cord. So I deliver half cords, thirds, quarters, sixths, and of course bundles. When wood seasons out, especially maple, the bark comes off, and always make sure that the bark's taken care of. I try to have all the bark facing down when I'm on a delivery, because I don't want it blowing out on the road, especially when your name is on the side of the truck. have said before though about how much fun making firewood is, but I really do think deliveries, they're a blast. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we're delivering firewood. I don't know, there's just something about firewood. People get excited about it. People are usually in a good mood because of it. So I've had nothing but nice experiences delivering firewood. And I think because of our professionalism and the seriousness that we take with quantities being accurate, I've never had, anyone accuse us of shortening them or giving them something less than what they were promised. I think that is probably a good indicator that we're fulfilling our mission about being a world-class firewood delivery service. I think too, if I can compare firewood, I used to work for that auto parts company, and there's a big difference between the two. And it's not that every customer that came into the store was upset, but a lot of them that came in, for their car parts, they were already in a sour mood, probably because their car's broken down. They have a lot of money that they have to fork out that they would rather have not had to. So I can recall dealing with a number of pretty cranky people. The same way too, when I was in college, I worked my way through college as a mechanic. And man, people with their cars, when they were broken down, they were mad, man. And they had a very small tolerance for anything, that was going to set them off. Firewood seems different though. Everyone's excited. I picked up on that pretty early when I started doing firewood. When I started, my first customer was that restaurant, and when I would show up with the firewood, it was a big deal for them. Everyone was excited. They would come out and help, and it was like a cause for celebration, when the firewood showed up. I don't think the truck delivering the fish or the Dr. Pepper had the same experience, but when the firewood, it sure was. And I've just noticed that when you are delivering firewood to people, it's an event, and it's going to be discussed at the dinner table. So take pride in what you do, and it'll pay off for you. 1/6 of a cord are worth more than 1/3 of a cord. All right. So in this case here, this is going to be 2 separate deliveries. And I got one more thing that we're going to add to it, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that as well. All right. Remember, small quantities is a way to add value to your deliveries. It's just like your Dr. Pepper. You can buy a 2-liter Dr. Pepper or a 20-ounce Dr. Pepper, and you pay almost twice as much for that 20-ounce Dr. Pepper as you would for the big bottle. All right. It's because we want that value of a small quantity. Same thing goes for firewood. That is the loading portion. And serious, guys, for the time it takes you to chuck a bunch of wood into the back of the pickup truck, just taking a couple extra minutes to hand load it like this and making it neat, it adds a lot of value to your delivery. And I don't care how I would handle my bulk firewood, I would still do it like this, because when you see what it does to your customer and how they react to it, you keep doing it. And that is why we can charge a livable wage with our firewood. There's one last thing I want to do. I'm going to be adding 2 bundles to this delivery. And I had a customer call. He just needed a little bit of firewood. He wanted some cherry smoking wood. He's experimenting. So again, 2 large bundles of seasoned cherry smoking wood, and I'll deliver them right to his door for $10. And think about the value here. what can a bundle be purchased for at your local grocery store. In this case here, he's getting cherry seasoned from a local supplier. And for me, it makes a lot of sense because this customer is on the way to my other delivery. So I just stop and drop off 2 bundles. I've just added $20 to my total delivery. I have said this before, guys. If you do or if you don't want to do bundles, that's on you. I still think that everyone, if you're selling firewood, you should have the ability to make bundles because opportunities like this will start coming up. In this case here, it makes a lot of sense where he will spend a couple extra bucks to get firewood from a reputable vendor, me, instead of going down to the grocery store and buying it, you know, from Lord knows where it came from and, you know, what the species actually is. This is just another way that you can add value, and for me it's an extra $20 on a delivery that I'm going to be driving right by the guy's house. These bundles are pretty easy to make, and I just think, you know, the clear wrapping, I think are just, they look great. I think they're good for the customer because they can see the wood. They look professional. And I think it's just a nice way to add value to what you're trying to do. I think too many times people just, you know, want to just say, well, it's just firewood. And it's not, you know, it's a big deal for people. A delivery like this is a big deal for customers, and you try to give them everything that they're looking for. Make it a special occasion. And just like that, we're done. I really do think, guys, the 3 most important things about firewood is sales, sales, and sales. In this case here, I have a 1/3 of a cord and 2 bundles. And, you know, when I think about where I started selling firewood, I'm making more on this one delivery than I used to make in an entire month. So if you focus on sales, if you really give customers what they're looking for, and if you look for markets that are out there that aren't being met, you can make a nice living selling firewood. I'm the living proof of that. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you do, hit that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe because we post videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And last thing, don't forget, check out our online store for our company t-shirts, our YouTube t-shirts, and our stickers. All proceeds go to my daughter to help her pay for her college. I hope that everyone has a great day.
Hi, I'm Harry Watt, North Carolina State University Wood Products Extension, and I'm here with Joe, the Ohio Wood Burner, and it's a great day. He has hit 15,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel for firewood. He's at the very top of the pile of firewood people, and congratulations.
Well, thanks a lot, Harry. It really means a lot for you to be out here. This is a big day for our wood yard. Let me ask you, since you're out here, maybe you wouldn't mind helping us stack some firewood?
It ain't happening.